is no coding culture at there. So this is
Okay.
one of the disadvantage which I feel during my college life. I'm able to solve only easy
Yeah.
problem, but struggling in medium and this kind of question. Like most of the 4 to 5 lakh companies visits our
Yeah.
college. Yes.
Hi everyone, welcome back to e-learning bridge. I hope you guys are doing good and staying safe. So in today's podcast we will be covering an inspiring story of a student who is from a tier 3 college and cracked Google. And guys, he also had an offer from Amazon. So we will try to know about his hustle and we will learn from his experience. So this podcast is going to be really useful for the aspiring students and entry level freshers, because he will talk about his journey, what kind of challenges he faced, and how he moved into the competitive programming world, how he prepared for DSA, how he prepared for interviews, how he cracked these companies, and many more amazing stuff. Also, to help my audience in best possible way, I will also try to cover the interview process of Google. So it will definitely help you if you are also targeting companies like Amazon and Google. So watch this podcast till the end, and if you are new to the channel, then make sure to subscribe and press the notification icon. If you like this video, then give a thumbs up and share it with other people as well. Guys, we also know to crack these big tech firms, the very important thing is the programming and coding. If your programming is strong, your DSA fundamentals are strong, and if you are a competitive programmer, then wow. And here Coding Ninjas can help you with that journey. But now you might be thinking there are lots of such kind of platforms available. Then what makes Coding Ninjas different with others? So I will basically show you a couple of points which I personally like about Coding Ninjas. So first, you can see the courses, the variety of courses they have for different languages, different technical domains. And next thing, let's say if you want to enroll in this C++ foundation with data structures, the thing you can see here, first, either you can enroll yourself, you can see the duration and how many students enrolled so far, and then you can basically go for this one, try for free. First you can get that feel how entire thing is working, how this is structured, then you can take a decision to enroll yourself. If I click here, so here you will be able to see the progress of your free trial and what all things Coding Ninjas is providing in this course. So here is basically the content. As you will make a progress, those contents will get unlocked and you will learn these things step by step. So for an example, let's say I start with conditionals and loops. So here you can see all the topics which will be taught in this particular chapter. So first I will play this video, like that's how they have designed everything. First you will learn these things from examples from the tutors, and then there will be some practice questions for you. Like here you can see you will answer these questions, and once this is complete, here you can see the assignment question. So let's say if I click on this assignment here, so I can read the problem statement, everything. But let's say I'm still confused and I'm not able to solve this problem here and I need some hints. So if you want to take a hint, you can click on this hint button and they will basically play a video. All important hints will be explained in a video format. But let's say still because of any reason you are not able to understand the solution or not able to understand the hint, and you want the actual help from the teaching assistants, then you can create a doubt here and click on ask view doubt here, and then just come here and create your doubt. Teaching assistants of Coding Ninjas will help you as soon as possible, and they will definitely clarify your doubts with best possible way. So these things definitely makes Coding Ninjas different from other platforms. So use the link which is in the description to enroll yourself in amazing courses, and using that link you will get extra 20% discount on top of early bird discount. So don't miss this opportunity. Okay, so thank you so much, Suresh, for joining us on this podcast. And first of all, really congratulations for cracking Google and joining it. And I hope you are enjoying your time at Google. So in this podcast, we will cover your journey and whatever you have faced, starting from your college and then cracking Google. So why don't you introduce yourself to my audience and how was your academic background?
Hi everyone, my name is Suresh Upadhyay. So I done my college from Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College. I'm 2019 pass out and my branch was CSC, and currently I'm working at Google.
How was your engineering life? When and how did you decide to pursue your career in computer science domain?
Okay, like engineering life was very good. Like I make lots of friends, all kind of masti, and this kind of thing happen in my engineering life. If we talk about our how I decided to pursue computer science, so ideally, like in generally what we
Yeah.
do after 12. So at that time, computer science was trending branch. So on the basis of that, I took I took admission in computer science, and post that I struggled in initial days, and then I worked on this, and on the basis of that, like I'm currently reach here.
You might have faced some challenges being a fresher. So, like, what was that? Like, starting 2 years of college, how it went?
So like I already told you, like I
Mm-hmm.
don't have any background in like computer science before my 12th. In 12th I have PCM. So I guess first introduction to
Okay.
programming happened in first year, where C introduced in our curriculum. So in that I struggle a lot. Like I don't know how to this for loop works, how this if else conditions work. Suppose that I thought like I should work on this. So I start
Mm-hmm.
practicing on Hacker Rank. So there I initial 2 years I mostly worked on there. Like
Okay.
I solved many problems there, particularly in
Okay.
problem solving sections. So from there I come to know like that improve my problem solving skill. But one major problem I still find that I am only able to solve easy problem in that. So yeah, so initial first year mostly like that, like I am solving problem in Hacker Rank, and I guess I go to in my comfort zone where I'm solving problem and I'm thinking like I know everything, this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Okay, so but I think after that you improved a lot. Like you have really amazing ratings on CodeChef and CodeForces. So like share that journey with my audience. Moving from that comfort zone to the advanced problem solving skills. Was there any kind of coding culture in your college which helped you to become a good coder? And I think it's a long question. And apart from that, if you can add, like, share some important resources which you used during your programming journey and interview preparation journey.
So first of all, for coding culture, definitely there is no coding culture. My college is more like development culture kind of thing. There is no coding culture at there. So this is
Okay.
one of the disadvantage which I feel during my college life. If
Mm-hmm.
there was a coding culture, so I can start so early. So in fifth sem, particularly, so I realized that I'm able to solve only easy
Yeah.
problem, but struggling in medium and this kind of question. And so I decided to
Mm-hmm.
go with to improve in this. And meanwhile, like Coding Ninja
Okay.
also, there is a platform Coding Ninja. So they also starting
Mm-hmm.
their competitive programming course. So there was that was their first programming batch. So I joined that batch, and there I learned some new topics. Like I learned DP first time
Okay.
there, number theory, segmentary, this kind of thing. And second thing that helped me a lot is their TA facility. Like in their TA facility, most of them are students from
Okay.
DTU and SIT. So when you meet such kind of people, like where placement happen in
Mm-hmm.
very good way, so we come to know like what is currently ongoing on market, what they are preparing, how they are preparing. So that helped me a lot. So I come to know like I'm going right way. Like CP is something where I should focus more like CP, not CP. It's more like DSA, like
Yeah.
for cracking the company. More focus on like DSA kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I start working on that. I practice on CodeChef, CodeForces a lot. Like I participate in every contest during my college time. So
Mm-hmm.
whether I able to solve a problem or not, like if I solve a problem, that is good. But if I'm not able to solve a problem, then I go for up solving, read editorial, learn from there, like learn if like I learn many topics from there, like meet in the middle and this kind
Mm-hmm.
of things I learn from there by up solving
Okay.
most of the time. So yeah, CodeChef, CodeForces, their editorials, their their blogs, they help me a lot during that.
Mm-hmm.
And Coding Ninja also have some contribution in my this journey as well.
Mostly what happens when freshers jump into this competitive programming part, and most of the times they used to do this mistake, like without thoroughly studying this DSA part, like understanding the core concepts of every data structures and algorithm. They quickly jump onto competitive programming
Yeah.
platforms, and then it's very disappointing because that time probably if they are not able to solve the tough questions, they feel demotivated. So, what's your thought on that, and how you were approaching at that time?
So basically, like for like whoever like practicing CP or like feeling demotivation, one thing is there:
Hmm.
always focus and always keep practicing.
Yeah.
First of all, you should work on your basics. Like I told you, like in the first 2 year,
Hmm.
I was solving problems in HackerRank. So that helped me a lot to for my foundation of basic. So from there I learned lots of basic things, like I know what is this
Okay.
and this kind of tricks from there. And then I go to like competitive
Hmm.
programming kind of thing. So whenever we are doing any competitive programming or this kind of thing, we should always focus on basics.
Okay.
Then only we have to go to like some advanced
Hmm.
topics. And yeah, for like you never try for a hard problem directly.
Yeah.
Start with one by one. If you are not able to solve a hard problem during a contest time, don't get demotivated. Learn from that, like how far you reach there, like how close you are to the solutions, and read editorial, read things, and keep that thing in mind for future use. Like today, if you are not able to solve a problem of DP or some particular kind of problem which can be solved by some particular trick or kind of thing, that should be in your mind. And whenever in future you find some problem, same kind of thing, then you should apply this kind of thing. Everything is a learning. During whenever you are doing CP, everything is learning. Whether you are solving a problem or whether you are not able to solve a problem, everything is learning. But you should give your time to that. Like keep practicing this. This is the only mool mantra. Like keep practicing and read editorial, take help from others. There are many good forums like Lead Code discussion forum, Code Forces blogs, Code Chef discussion forum. So you always took help from there.
Okay, so Suresh, in your college time, mostly like mass hiring companies or companies which gives average packages around 5 to 6 LPA, they were visiting your colleges, right? So, what kind
Yeah.
of challenges did you face to get off-campus opportunities because you were belonging to a tier 3 college? Then obviously sometimes it becomes really difficult to get the off-campus opportunities. You have to do something different to seek the attention of the recruiters and seek the attention of companies. So, like, what kind of companies did you crack via off-campus during your college time?
For college point of view, so yeah, this is true. Like most of the 4 to 5 lakh companies comes visits our
Yeah.
college. Yes. For off-campus kind of thing, like yeah, this kind of the CP or like computer programming and different profiles ratings helped me a lot at that time, because
Okay.
this is something through which recruiter maybe like judge like if he is good, he is at this point of he has this much rating, he must be good candidate, like he know the basics DSA and this kind of thing. So during
Okay.
our off campus time, most of the time like college, any company didn't visit to our college. So basically our approach was to like there is a hacker earth, basically hiring challenges was there. So I mostly participated in their contest. So from there I got opportunity for Amazon at that time, and also I got
Nice.
call for Samsung as well. So
Okay.
like for interview process, sadly at that time I don't make it at Amazon. I got rejected in third round.
I mean, I think your point was correct, and at least for freshers, I have seen this one. If you are in this competitive programming world and have a strong fundamentals about DSA, then definitely you will seek the attention of recruiters. I think same happened with you as well. And the contest part, it is very important. Like keep participating in such kind of challenges. Companies used to host their coding events on platforms like HackerRank, HackerEarth, and many other platforms. So keep an eye on that. Uh, okay, so Suresh, now you are working in Google, and I think this would be the most important part, which which my audience is also waiting for. So, how did you get the opportunity to interview at Google, right?
Yeah.
And you had an offer from Amazon as well, right? So, how did it happen, like getting those opportunities? And how did you get the interview calls? What did you prepare for interviews, and how did you crack it being from a tier 3 college?
Like interview opportunities point. So here LinkedIn helped me a lot. Like
Yeah.
I got all the opportunities from LinkedIn. So
Okay.
for particular for Amazon part, one of the I
Mm-hmm.
asked for referral for one of the employee of Amazon, and he referred me, and then I got a test link, and
Okay.
then I passed the test, and then all the on-site schedule. For Google part, recruiter contact me on LinkedIn. So
Okay.
she messaged me like for my number and email. Then next day we had a discussions, and then she scheduled all the interviews for me. So through this I got the opportunities. For preparation part, even after joining companies, I was little bit regular at
Okay.
lead code, not like code forces, mostly in lead code. So in last 1 year I was very regular
Mm-hmm.
at lead code. So I didn't do any specific preparation for these two companies. I guess that those 1 year practice helped me a lot to crack this company.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like in lead code, I was very regular, solving 1 or 2 problem daily, or
Okay.
regularly participating in their bi-weekly or weekly challenges. So that helped me a lot. Yeah.
Okay. Here, I think I should add a specific question about the interview process as well. I'm not asking you to talk about the specific questions which were asked in Google, but if you can just throw some light on the process, like how many rounds you need to go through, how many technical rounds would be there, and most of the time, what Google interviewers expect from a candidate.
Okay, okay. So basically, ideally there should be like 6 rounds.
Okay.
First one is telephonic round. Like once your telephonic round is cleared, then you go for on-site. And in on-site there was 5 rounds. 4 was coding, or 1 was googliness or behavior kind of questions. Okay.
Okay.
So majorly focus like what in Google interview see in a candidate. So ideally it is 45-minute round, and it is 45-minute round. Like they are very
Yeah.
strict to their timing. Okay. So
Okay.
in this 45 round, they expect like you solve 2 problems. Okay. And
Okay.
this can be a new problem, some DP, binary tree, graph based problem. And major focus was how you are approaching, like what data structure you are using, and how you are writing the code, and you are like how you are thinking the edge cases and unit testing, like test cases kind of things. So this is the things, like how you are writing
Okay.
code, that is very important there. Like you should write a clean code, this kind of things they majorly focus. And also like you should solve the problem in within the time frame. So these are the things. So
Okay.
all 4 coding round, they judge this kind of things. Difficulty vary from medium to hard kind of problems.
Okay.
Mostly it's mostly hard, but sometimes you can find you can get a easy set also. That depend on interviewer or your luck. You may say, I may say.
Okay.
And googliness is something like where they ask some behavior questions and situation based problems. So they
Okay.
judge you on the basis of that. And post that, like you go to your packet goes to hiring committee, where they decide whether they are going to hire you or not on the basis of how you perform in all the 4 rounds and googliness round. And earlier team matching happened before hiring manager, but now I guess Google India is doing team matching happen before they send packet to hiring committee.
You talked about the coding part, programming part mostly, and even like looks like based on your experience, it looks like the important thing which plays important role like cracking these companies was the programming. So coding and programming is the only key to crack the interviews of big tech firms as a fresher, or product development and system designing also plays an important
Ideally
role.
as a fresher, like currently I'm talking about current situation. For fresher,
Yeah.
they don't expect system design kind of thing. But like many of my friends currently giving interviews, so
Okay.
anyone having 1+ year of experience, now companies are looking for like object oriented rounds or system design rounds. This kind of thing happen start
Okay.
they are doing for 1 year plus experience kind of thing. So if you are fresher, I don't think it is very important. But one thing I also want to mention here, like only programming is not important thing. You should have 1 or 2 projects in your resume as well, because at the end you are going to an organization and you are going to do some development work there. So it's not like you only do programming all the time, and you should have 1 or 2 projects in your resume as well while going for any interview process. And it should be like not a small kind of project, it
Okay.
should be medium time, like it has some general, it should solve some user real life world problem or some kind of problems. Yeah, that is also important. For system design, yeah, it is important, but for fresher as of now it is
Okay.
not that
Okay.
important. But they may ask, instead of system design, they can ask computer science fundamental like OS DBMS kind of questions. But if you have 1+ year of experience, in that case they are starting like object oriented programming. For Flipkart also, they have machine coding round for 2 hours, where they develop they test on you like how you are creating class and this kind of things.
Yeah.
And many other organizations start this kind of things. So yeah, you should also focus on this kind of thing, object oriented system design, if you have 1+ year of experience. But yeah, for fresher as of now, no, but we never know what happen in future.
So I'll wrap up this session with one last question, Suresh. So what is your source of motivation, and how would you motivate other aspiring students, especially from Tier 3 college? I know, like, by looking at your background or the journey you have shared, like thousands of students and even working professional will get motivated. But I want to know your source of motivation, that okay, yes, I am able to crack big tech firms like Amazon, Google, and how would you motivate your fellow juniors?
One thing was like one big source of motivation is one of my friend. Like it's
Okay.
not like I'm as I already told you, like there is no coding culture at my college. So
Mm-hmm.
so I met one of my friends Rigved. So we both do coding together. So if you have anybody or any friend who always there for practicing, like whenever you feel low or whenever you are not able to solve problem, so at that moment this kind of friends
Mm-hmm.
help you a lot. So friends are one of the big source of my motivation. Apart from that, like I talk to
Okay.
different people, different from different colleges, and from there I got to know like I'm doing something good. And if it is not giving me result today, but if I continue doing this will definitely give me some result tomorrow. So this is one big source of motivation. Like
Okay.
I believe in myself whatever I'm doing, and I just focus on that. Don't and never listens to anyone other's opinion most of the time. But yeah.
Yeah, I think, yeah, this
Yeah.
kind of inspiration we all need. And I think you are a really good example of that, Suresh. And I hope, guys, you would have liked this podcast and whatever experience Suresh has shared with us. If you have any thoughts, if you have any questions, and if you like this podcast, then like share your thoughts in the comment section, give a like, and share his journey with your fellow friends that they can also get motivated and crack big companies, and even you can like take some motivation from him. And if he can do it, you guys can also do it. So thank you so much, Suresh, for joining this podcast. It was really nice talking to you.
Thank you, Shashank, for
So that was all about in this podcast, guys. I hope you would have enjoyed it. If you did, then make sure to like it and share it with other people. And if you're new to the channel, then make sure to subscribe and press the notification icon. I will see you guys in the next weekend with another amazing podcast. Till then, just stay safe, stay home, take care of yourself and your family too.